Hey everybody, this is Robert Lawrence, the Red Prince. I'm here again with my wife, Rebecca Lawrence.
Hi, everybody.
Alrighty, well today we're doing another Redneck Recommends, and because it's Valentine's Day, we're gonna go over a very romantic story that all of us nerds can get along and actually like this thing. And it's based off one of the greatest playwrights ever written, Romeo X Juliet. The one of my most favorite anime collections. It goes great with this time of year, I think, with just Valentine's Day and true love. But basically, to give you a quick summary of it, this is not the original playwright just put into an anime form. This is it takes the Romeo and Juliet story and it kind of turns it on its head and spins it around a little bit. It instead of it being about two warring houses and the actual thought of them being in love, it takes place on a let's get her in the picture. It takes place on a island called Neo Verona that floats in the sky, and the kingdom is now under the occupation of House Montague, who has overthrown the Capulet princehood and just is making life miserable for everyone. People are starving on the streets and everything like that. And the only hope for these people in this world is a Red Avenger who just so happens to have red hair and is a girl.
Sums it up.
Yep. And obviously that being Juliet Ars di Amata di Capulet, the proper Italian name for Juliet. And what happens in the middle of this is, instead of her seeking out righteous justice on the family that killed hers, she falls head over heels for the son of her most hated enemy. Romeo what's the name? Romeo del Candore de Montague. Sorry, I had to make sure I had the whole name right. I'm a big purist on stuff like that. Anyway, I want to recommend this to all my nerd brethren out there. It's great for Valentine's Day, girlfriend, boyfriend. You can watch it and enjoy it. And me and Beck are just going to go over a couple of things we liked about it and a couple of things we didn't like about it. Might sway you one way or the other. If not, still check it out. It's $29.99 on the Save Edition. If you're still into DVDs like I am, I mean, it's great fun. Great fun. Alright, well, Beck, actually, I'm going to start off with you this time. What are the three things you liked about it?
I like the sorry, my throat. I like the red war one. She was one of a kind.
So you like the fact that she is not a sort of a handmaiden like she was in the original story. You like that she was a presence in the thing. She was the main character of the story and stuff like that.
I enjoy also the steeds. They were
the dragon steeds.
Dragon
that was
steeds,
going to be one of my things if she didn't bring that up.
The dragon steeds were a different foreplay from the story, the original story.
Yeah, well, it's a more of a fantasy take on it. I don't know about foreplay, but
well, I like the different.
Yeah, it's a good little twist, and
yeah.
For people like us who read lots of stuff on fantasy and stuff like that, it's great for us. And I think it'd be great. They're very beautifully done. They look like Pegasuses rather than dragons, I think.
Yeah.
But I really like that part. What's your biggest thing, number 3, that you really liked about it?
The flower, the talk of the Juliet's house. That it's all surrounded. They changed the flower around.
Yeah, it wasn't a rose. It was an iris. Yeah, it was an iris. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I still would have preferred a rose. I kind of like that. That her symbol was a rose.
Yeah, but your favorite flower is also the rose.
Well, I like white roses and stuff too, but yeah, I'm not a big flower guy. I'm not that feminine. But I agree. I liked that little twist on it. I'll give you that one. Now, what were some things that you didn't like about it?
Uh, the prince is very. If somebody didn't like
So,
him,
to be fair, the prince, you mean Montague, the Prince Montague, the one who's in charge, not
yeah.
Romeo.
Yeah, the prince who was in charge. He was like, if you didn't like him, he'll take you out.
Yeah, well, that's the villain. I mean, that's what he's there to do. What particularly didn't you like about him? Was he? Did you like to hate him? Basically, is what I guess they want.
Yeah, you pretty much really hated him more than anything else in the whole entire.
Because I felt sorry for him. Because when you read, I don't want to give away anything in the story because I want you all to watch it and enjoy this lovely story. But the prince had a hard life too, thanks to the Capulets. I mean, I don't. He blamed the Capulets for it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's another thing you didn't like about it?
There's not really much I didn't like about this story, so.
Okay, so you're fine with that. So she had three things she really liked and one thing that she didn't like, which I don't know if you could really say you didn't like because without the prince you wouldn't have a story, especially with this one.
Yeah.
You'd have Romeo and Juliet again. Well, for me, I found the characters as far as the three things that I liked. One, Juliet. I'm not a guy who likes animated women. I'm not like my pervert friends who think that animated women are hot. I'm just not one of those guys. But I could say, based on the writing of Juliet,
Mhm.
this was a person that if she were real, every guy in the room would be after her.
Yeah, I could see that from a guy's point of view, yeah.
Because she was beautiful, she was kind, much more intelligent than I think she's portrayed in the actual Romeo and Juliet book.
If she was surrounded by more females, a lot more.
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying too. I'm not saying that I found I'm in love with this character. I could fall in love with this character. Is what I'm saying. As far as this is meant to be a love story for 24 episodes, and just the way they go about it, and that's what I'm referring to. And that's how they meant to do it, because she has these guards and these other people that are with her. She has one guy in there that says, the one woman, that I want, and I can't have her.
Mhm.
It's such a beautiful forbidden fruit thing with that. And one of them says, because for me, and the other one is just there's just another bodyguard that's just a die-hard, warrior and stuff like that. He says the one thing that I never meant to do was fall in love with her either. So you find that all these guys in this story, except for the grandpa, they all fall in love with her. And Romeo is very lucky that he gets her in the end, I think.
Yeah.
So that part I liked. I liked that the characters were so well written, and they were so well portrayed, that you felt like you were a part of the story. So that's the number one thing that I liked. Number two, I really have to say, like you, I liked the dragon steeds. I loved like I said, the story, because as far as Juliet's story, some of the pacing was just a little off, and that's one of the things I didn't like about it. But I liked how her story went from one place to the other, and it left you hanging. I mean, in some places you had to watch every episode, and you didn't feel like you had to wait. You felt like if you waited, you would not live with yourself that much.
And the episodes were short.
Yeah, they're really short. I mean, you could get through this, and you start at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you could get done with it by 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very beautifully done and great for time saving. The other thing I liked was the soundtrack for the thing was really good too.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, every time the music would play, you would think, yeah, it's Romeo X Juliet. It's Romeo and Juliet. I'm not going to tell you. I think you can guess the ending, how this is going to end out. But there's this final sword fight. This isn't giving away the ending, because the ending is completely different, but it's still really sad. there's this final fight where Juliet is going to sacrifice herself, and Romeo is not going to let her. And I think the words were, I would besiege the heavens themselves to save you.
Sounds about right.
And you just feel, and she's just like, and she's going to save him. That's who she's fighting for. And they just come into contact, and there's this glorious sword fight. Glorious sword fight. And I loved that. I loved how the one thing keeping her from saving him, is him. And it's not done in a cheesy way. It's done in a very, it's led to this moment. It's come to this. And it is so sad. Now, the things I didn't like about it, I didn't like how they, another thing I did like, too, was they used the original, as most of the original lines from Shakespeare as possible. And they didn't use enough of it like I would have liked. I wanted to hear, I want to hear, what is in a rose but a name, and things like that. And they did the important things, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but they didn't have a rose flower in there, so why would they use the rose line?
Well, they wouldn't, but that's just me. I loved how, or they could have said an iris, or they could have said an iris. Would an iris itself not smell as sweet?
Yeah, they could have done that.
I loved how Romeo makes this declaration of his love to this girl, because, if I was in the story, I'd have bumped Romeo off in a heartbeat to get to Juliet. But he tells her, if you would but ask me, I would deny my name, and I will be but Romeo. It's this beautiful. They have it in the book too, but it's so beautiful how quickly he falls in love. Like I said, this is not a story of the boy who fell in love at a glance, at a party. This is the thing about a woman who can get over the fact that her man that she loves is just the son of the man who killed her family. So I didn't like. I wish they'd have used just a little bit more of the thing, and they didn't use the final word at the end. In the end, love conquered all.
Yeah.
They didn't use that, unfortunately. But another thing I didn't like was the pacing. For everyone else except Juliet, she was the main focus, but they went chop 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 to everybody else, and it felt really rushed in some places, and it felt really underdeveloped in some places. So there's that, but that's just me having a little bit of a background as a writer. What didn't you think that a little bit in some places?
Yeah, some places went a little faster than others. Yeah.
And I'm just an old diehard fan of anime, and it just chop 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 just didn't do it for me. And the final thing I really didn't like. I hated that it was over. That at the end it was because really I only had two things I could really nitpick about this. So guys, if you are interested, please check out Romeo X Juliet. It's from Gonzo. They have the save version. It is only, like I said, it's only 24 episodes, and you will not want to stop watching.
Yeah, you got that right. I maybe watched this one more times in 1 year than I usually do any other anime.
Yeah, especially around Valentine's Day. Trust me guys, if you are a nerd like me, and you are looking to get some points with your ladies, show her that you have a sensitive side. Show her that you love. Trust me, there's plenty of action for dudes too. I mean, you could watch this and really enjoy it. This is not a Twilight. This is not a Hunger Games. This is...
There's nothing wrong with the Hunger
beauty.
Games, by the way.
No. I'm just saying there is no love triangle here. There is, they love each other in this. It's you actually look at this. It's not a teen drama. This is love and what you have to do for love. What price do you pay for the right to just love somebody? Is it worth it to you, or are your duties more important? And they answer a lot of those questions in this. So if I were you guys, I would check this out. All of you anime geeks out there who already know it, thumbs up. We really like it. So that's a redneck recommend, and we're gonna say it. Complete, perfect series. for us personally.
Perfectly, yeah.
24 episodes, I'm done. I was just sad it was over. I like short animes. I love to be able to go from here to there. And then I'm like, great, let's go on to the next thing. This one, I was crying a little bit at the end. But, you know, all things being equal, guys, we hope y'all enjoyed this. We really liked Romeo X Juliet. I mean, and we'd recommend it for Valentine's Day. And if you act now, you have 9 days to get it offline or wherever. Because I don't think there's too many FYEs still lying around. But anyway, thank you so much. This has been Robert Lawrence and
Rebecca Lawrence.
Yeah, and we're husband and wife, so we're going to be enjoying Valentine's Day, probably watching this. So, again, guys, y'all have a great one. God bless.